Hi there. Welcome to Sunnyside Journals. I'm Catherine. I have a flip through today of a sweet little big journal that I recently finished that I made myself. Usually, my journals are uh, recreated from vintage and antique books. But this time I felt like trying my hand at completely creating my own cover and the interior. And that is what gave birth to little Wren here, who I've been working on recently. And what a pleasure to make this book. I will definitely be making books from scratch again in the future. This was so much fun and such a pleasure. Now, you can see by the way I'm holding her, I keep calling her. Wren could be a little boy. He's certainly handsome. It looks small. This is one of those small but mighty books. I managed to fit comfortably 332 pages into this journal. Now, the dimensions are 4 1/4 by 5 3/4 by 2. So it's a big little book. And I created Wren with these are cheesecloth strands. I wanted quite a pronounced curve on her spine. And I also wanted bands on the spine just for character. And I really like the way it turned out. The colors, if it's not showing up clearly on the screen, because screens vary from computer to computer and phone to phone, this is a very deep, rich burgundy. There is gold gilding wax detailing around the edges where there's fabric. And then, of course, as you can tell and probably already know, I made a wonderful use of the beautiful artwork of Edith Holden from her book, The Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady. So we're going to take a look inside. As you can see here, I've put permanent ribbon ties onto this book. I figured it's going to be big and is probably going to end up doing this with the next owner, and you may need to sort of give it some encouragement to close. As ever, still in the spirit of being a Sunnyside journal, except for the boards inside the front and the back cover, there you can see the back cover, everything has come from repurposed sources. So that can mean thrift stores, it can mean church rummage sales, estate sales, antique shops, happy mail from other fellow journalers. Anywhere that I can find my materials that have been previously loved, that's how I like to make my junk journals. So let's take a look inside. There is a strong leaning towards the artwork of Edith Holden, but you're going to find that there are other pages in here as well of from botanical books and nature books, just pretty books. It's a very pretty little journal. We're going to talk about this in a second. You'll see here in the profile, most of the edges of the papers are raw torn edges, including the tabs that I have created, and we'll get to those in a moment. So I think that makes for a really beautiful profile of this book. The end pages I have taken from a book I own that was published in 1888. So they're old, but I have firmed them up by attaching them to stronger cardstock and was able to create really pretty end papers. I chose this one in particular because there's a woman out painting, a plein air artist, and I wondered, is that what Edith Holden looked like when she was out doing her artwork that we love so much? On the inside, you'll see that I've included the little poem that she had included about the wren, and I made a little tab down here with her illustration of a wren egg. And that sort of peeks out over the edge and leads you into the beginning of the book. Here's a little tuck spot. I've just put some tea-dyed papers in there for you for now. The pages I have left as is. This is not a chock full ephemera type junk journal. This is a writer's book or an artist's book or whatever it is you're going to make of it. And if you want to put in tuck spots, you'll be able to do that. If necessary, you may find if you're a very artistic person, you may need to remove some of the extra pages to give yourself more room. That's easy enough done. You just simply pull it out the way you would any book. Let's get to my little journaling board that I created for Wren. This is one of Edith's pictures that she did of you can see the pheasants there hiding down in the lower brush. And this side is smooth, so when you're writing in your journal, you can put it under your page and it gives you a hard surface for writing on. And if you're writing on the other side, just simply turn it over and you can write on this side. And I tell you that because on the other side is an ephemera holder, just some little tuck spots, so that if you found some little, hold on, I'm finding some tweezers. If you found some little bits and bobs, I'll be sending these along with it, but if you as well have your own little bits and bobs, you can just tuck them in and glue them onto a page that you happen to be working on and refill it as needed. And I just thought that was a fun way to include extra ephemera for you to put where you wish. And this lace, as ever, was found at one of my thrift stores, and I think it looks really, really pretty there. I'm going to put this over here for now while we look through. Now, there won't be much to say as we go through. You're going to see a lot of blank papers, a lot of vintage papers. This is vintage band music. This is paper that somebody must have handmade, and you can see in it, it actually has leaves and grass and natural elements inside it. And I just thought that was perfect. You can see I have done a hand-sewn running stitch in all 10 signatures. It's a big book. It's a big little book. And lots of room for journaling. Actual pages from Edith's book. This is from another botanical book I have on butterflies. This is from a 1941 gardening book. This is from a vintage children's composition book. This is cotton resume paper that already had a raw edge on one side, but I've still torn it to match the others. This is from an antique encyclopedia, and this is the section on birch trees. If there are tea-dyed papers in here, I tea-dyed them myself. This is a little vintage gift card that I've sewn right into the center of the signature. And if you wish, and I've left it an option for you, it's a card that is layered, so you can glue the top of this and create a tuck spot. A flip out that has been reinforced with a bit of washi tape. I love this tea-dyed paper. It's just a very pale shell pink. Some fussy cuts of Edith's, from Edith's book of the peacock butterfly and larva. And on the other side is also the peacock butterfly with the wings in the upright position. Some pages are an unusual size or shape. I just think that adds nice variety. Thought that was pretty for a center spread. Wild Strawberry, and that's also from Edith's book, to make a little tab here. The tabs placements have no rhyme or reason. I just put them where they looked pretty. More of the handmade paper that has leaves and grass inside it. This is a page from a Sears Roebuck catalog. Forget-me-nots. I chose the page that had garden swings and hammocks. As I mentioned, this is mostly, I would say, a writer's journal. This is a guest book spread, and it has a bit of a flip out here. And I tea-dyed it. Not all the pages are tea-dyed. Some have been left as is because they were already a really lovely creamy shade of ivory. This is from an antique gardening manual. Another one of Edith's paintings. And the name of it, the hedge sparrow, turned into a tab. So it just peeks out over the edge just a little bit. This is from a book on English butterflies that I have. This is from a 10-year gardening diary that I have, that I tea-dyed. This is from a 1920s children's science book. I love using stenographer's papers when there's the ring holes still on the side. This has been tea-dyed. Here's a bit of an offcut from a Dick and Jane book. This is from a 1985 day book that I tea-dyed. I wasn't kidding when I said there were a lot of pages in this book. Tip out from the steno page. The other side of that botanical book. And another Edith Holden tab. and more lawn furniture from Sears Roebuck, and fishing rods. This is old player piano music. I love the way these papers tea dyed. You can see the bubbles from the tea, how it laid in the pan for a while it soaked. This is a page out of a bird book, and it's the page on wrens. I've adhered it to this page from the journal by Peeps. Now it's a little tuck spot, so hold on, I'm trying to find a little piece of paper here. 1 second, just so you understand what I've created there. I will put some little tags in here when it goes off to whoever the new owner is. But you can see there, that's a little tuck spot. And then on the other side of the spread is another little tuck spot behind those little wrens. More of the player piano music. Paper. Well, I guess it's the music. More composition paper. This is the real deal. I love when nature yellows the paper for me. Another hammock from Sears Roebuck. $3.38. I believe that's 1905. I have to check. This is also from the old garden manual. Some, I believe those are warblers. Vireo. And another little tip out from that old garden manual. Another little offcut from Edith's actual book. A little purple heart and a tab created from the name. This style looks very similar to Edith's, but it's a different woman, a Scottish woman. It's not that old, but as ever it meets my requirements. It was secondhand. I found it at a thrift store, and her artwork's very, very pretty. But you can see her writing is very similar to the style that Edith uses in her paintings. Isn't that beautiful? A little cottage with thatched roof. Another little fussy cut from Edith's book on a flip out. I made a pocket here from the leftovers of the wild strawberries, and it's more like a tuck spot. It's been put in on 2 sides, and you'll be able to tuck things in there. As ever, I've included one of my 2 Nanas bookmarks that always goes home in with a Sunnyside journal. And then, of course, the other paper that I chose out of that old book from 1888. I just thought that those looked really, really pretty and complemented, but were a little different than the creamy, soft colors of Edith's work. I've put a label here so that you can turn that into an ex libris if you like, or perhaps you'll want to put the dates in here for the years or months that you used this as your journal. It's up to you. It's blank and ready to go. So, and the nice thing about a journaling board that has a bit of lace on it, you can just choose wherever you want. Perhaps it's the area you're working on right now, so you can find it faster, and tuck it in. And then when you tie your little ties shut, it really makes this little book so pretty without bulking up the edge of the pages and without taking away how pretty all those raw edges were that I had to do a lot of ripping for those raw edges. I really think Wren turned out very pretty. I'm so pleased with this book. I will definitely be making more journals from scratch. Wren is going to be available for sale in my Etsy shop, most likely within the next day or two. Today is Friday, so most likely either tomorrow, Saturday, or Sunday. I'm not sure yet, but I like to post my flip through videos ahead of time. So if anyone's interested, they can comfortably take their time and look through this video and see if maybe this is the kind of journal you'd like. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little tour of Wren, and I hope you have a great day. Take care. Bye.